I want to talk to you today about a reality for many business owners, and that is where you feel like the business could implode at any time. You feel like you're running a house of cards. So these moments occur where there might be a crisis that crops up. There might be a customer crisis, a project that might be going off the rails, a conflict in the team, or something happening in the market. It could be something as large as a global financial crisis, or it could be something as small as there's a problem in admin. All of these give you a sense of this is just a house of cards that we're running here. Now, I want you to know that that feeling doesn't go away, and actually is not a bad feeling because it shows that you don't take anything for granted in the business and you're always focused on business success. Now, there were certain techniques that I learned over time that Dale Carnegie spoke about in his book, How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. So there are two concepts that he talks about. One is changing the worst case. This technique is about looking at a crisis when it crops up. In your mind, you start thinking, what is the absolute worst case that could happen in this scenario? Be realistic, try and envision, well, what is that worst case? And then decide, could I live with that worst case? If it happened, what would happen to my life? Could I live with that? If you can, then you say, okay, I can live with that worst case. Now all I need to do is do better than the worst case. This mindset shift allows you to be much more focused on solving the problem rather than on your stress levels. The second concept that I applied regularly was the concept of day-tight compartments. You only can focus on today's problems today. Imagine you've got a ship and the hull is breached. What they do is close off certain compartments of the ship and it would protect the rest of the ship from flooding. So in the same way, you would create day-tight compartments. For example, on the weekend at home, I'm not going to be worrying for the whole weekend about a presentation I need to do on Monday. I know that it's there. I know that I've prepared on Friday. I'm not going to spend my whole time focusing on the problem over the weekend. Doesn't mean you ignore the future, but it means that you actually get very prepared for the future, and you will then only focus on the problems that crop up within that day. And it's also critical here, not only about looking forward, but also that you don't dwell on the past. The past is purely about applying learnings that you've picked up and applying them to your future. Remember, every day is a new life to a wise person. The other concept that really had to hit home for me is thinking of yourself as being like a doctor. If a doctor had to say every day, I'm sick and tired of having to deal with people's problems, he is in the wrong job. And in the same way, you as a business owner, your job is to be the escalation point to get things running smoothly. You need to have a mindset that your job is taking problems that come down the conveyor belt, opening up the package and fixing the problem. And the bigger your company becomes, more and more that's what your role will be. Remember what Uncle Ben said, with great power comes great responsibility. So hopefully some of these little tips have helped you to understand how you can deal with this constant sense of the house of cards